All right. Good evening to all of you. We have many people joining us live in the live chat. I can see. So, good evening to everyone who has joined here. Sorry for the delay. We had some another engagement which got a little stretched, but finally we are here at last. And do not worry, as mentioned, that yesterday we have set up prima facie about what C++ learning is supposed to be and how it is supposed to work around. Could be the syntax of the language, could be the different regimes which come into picture, such as how to write a function, uh, when to use a certain header or library. What does using namespace standard does, right? Let us quickly recap those part. Okay, so header files are nothing but they include certain tools and libraries for you, whereas using namespace as standard explains C++ compiler that certain keywords such as reserved keywords like cout, cin, which are like name of certain reserved keywords, that you're going to publish them as standard names. Okay, so you know need not repetitively write again and again that this is a standard keyword. Okay, let compiler automatically look into the vocabulary and decide whatever is a standard word and then use it as a standard word without the necessity of bringing in std colon colon in front of that word, right? Then we saw how function is created. Could be like function which returns something. Whatever the function returns, we have to mention the data type in front of it. Usually in C++, when we declare one function which runs the main code, is known as main function, right? So usually we go with integer and we return 0. So that's like a unspecified community rule. It need not necessarily be returning 0. It could return anything. It could be a float, boolean, or maybe like a string return function. But returning 0 in industry standard practice means that your code ran successfully if it is returning 0 from the main thread. Again, today let us extend our learning. Let us learn about few important aspects related to the switch statement. What is switch? Let us understand different type of loops. Let us understand a little bit about strings. We will look into different type of operators. Once we are done with it, we will compile all our knowledge, and I promise you that we will solve something interesting. We will solve something which is like a good problem statement to solve. Okay, so even people who are intermediate programmers, I'll not even say freshers, college level people, or juniors, people who have a year, 2 or 3 year of experience in C++, even they can join us and try to solve such problems, which we will do today. Okay, so with the clear instructions of what we are planning for today, our roadmap being laid, let us quickly start off with the session. All right. So yes, I see many people coming into the chat who were there yesterday, and I'm really happy to see follow-up people being active. And I encourage all the live members to be available. Right. So we have done the assignment yesterday, which you gave. I've got the output. Happy to taking part in this. I'm really happy to know that people are taking these assignments seriously, developing their skills, shaping into the world of being developer, getting more closer to it day by day. So that's really interesting. Now let us talk about something known as a switch statement, right? So I think my screen is visible to you. Welcome to the day to basics. Let us start off with writing something related to a switch statement. So switch is something like which helps us switch between different roles, right? There could be different cases which we need to solve. So there's a built-in statement on a switch statement in C++. It definitely helps us to match different case, है ना? Could be आपके पास 10 different case हैं, 5 different case हैं. अगर आपको इनके अंदर switch करना है, मतलब अगर suppose if I'm talking about a situation where I have to choose between say 1 to 5 option, okay, and each option unlocks me a different type of benefits, or different type of return which the function can give, or different type of statements to be executed based on my condition. These logics are mostly used when we design games a lot, when we design conditions related to where we have to choose something, right? We have to pick something which naturally alters the course of what is going to happen next, right? So let us understand how we can utilize a switch in our case. So firstly, we will start off with including the IOStream library, and then we will declare using namespace as a standard. Okay. Now, once we're done with it, we need to demonstrate not only switch statement, but also at the same time appreciate the thought of what are we doing. So let us say we will create a very simple switch statement. The statement is that we will ask a user to select what like apply, maybe select a meeting. Okay, they want to create a meeting for themselves, so they want to pre-book a meeting space. Okay, so on which day of the week, could it be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, when do they want to keep this meeting, if this is what user has to give as the input. So suppose if this is the statement, we need not necessarily return something. So could be we could design a void function. So yesterday, in a subtle manner, I told you that sometimes if we do not have to, we are not sure what our function will return, or if our function is not supposed to return something, but just do something for us, maybe just print few things, okay, and not return it. So maybe at that point we declare a function with void. Okay, so we will do maybe like demonstrate switch for now. Okay, let us demonstrate how switch works. So it takes a value known as integer day. So this should be by now clear to you, this syntax. Okay, I'll just quickly repeat. Line number 5 पे आपको दिख रहा होगा void लिखा गया है. This is like the data type of what are we returning. Since our function doesn't return anything, there is nothing related to return, so it is void. Okay, because we are not returning. Next is the function name, and in the bracket goes agar koi input, if there is some input that this function will take. Okay, so now what is our function supposed to do? Let us understand that. So suppose we will see out quickly that maybe I'll start off with /n, which means ke next line pe printing ho. Okay, uh, I'll just demonstrate which statement, how it is used. Okay, so with this I'll again use /n, and now once this is done, maybe next thing is ke we will create a switch. Okay, so uske pehle let us declare a string by the name of day name. Okay, whatever could be the day name that we're going to follow. Then let us create a switch. So as soon as you write switch, it turns into a reserved keyword, and it takes day. So what is day? Line number 8 pe we are writing day. It is something which comes as an input to this function. If you look at line number 5, the line number 5 clearly mentions that day is an integer. Okay, it is an integer value. So we will switch based on this. Switch also uses curly braces in which you write different cases. Okay, so we will write different cases. For example, suppose if we write case 1. So when will case 1 execute? So case 1 will execute when the condition is that day name variable, uh, basically the condition is 1. Okay, आपका day की value 1 है. When your integer that you have supplied to this function, if the value of that integer, if the value of day, if the value of the day is 1, so case 1 execute हो जाएगा. And in the variable which we have declared, day name, so in day name we will store Monday. Okay, so this is just one demonstration, a good idea, and we will simply break. Okay, now what does break statement do? We are today also planning to learn loops, right? So when we are doing it, you will realize the potential of break over there also. But break helps you save unnecessary execution of code, है ना? So for example, if I have 30 different cases to begin with, or 300 cases, or 3 cases, it doesn't matter. If I have n number of cases with me, and I have to iterate through each case. Case 1 hai, ya case 2 hai, case 3 hai, something like that. If I have to do, what if case 1 was what I was looking for? Okay, so I've already found what I was looking for, and still I am unnecessarily uh, keep on looking into other cases also. I'm checking case 2, case 3, case 4 also. I need not do that. Hence, break statement will make the code realize that case 1 is solved. Now break this looping. It will simply close the current loop, which is the switch statements. Okay, imagine I told you that there is a drawer in my room. In that drawer there is maybe say a thing that I want. Okay, so you are simply picking all the things in the drawer until unless you find what you're looking for, right? And imagine if whatever you're looking for you will keep it in your pocket and still keep on digging the entire drawer until unless the entire drawer is empty. So unnecessary wastage of time and efforts, right? That's what break will do. When you've found what you're looking for, it will break the execution. So similarly, without wasting further time, what if we simply quickly cover different cases? So it is something like this. Case 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which are different days or 7. Okay. So this is self-explanatory. Now we all know that there are only 7 days in the week. What if a user gives us something which is like 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, right? So in that case, we need a default case. So which is where we will mention default, which is again a reserved keyword. And default में क्या होगा? Day name should be invalid choice. Okay, and still break on it. So that's how basically the switch statement is supposed to work. I'll temporarily zoom out, okay, so that you can see that switch statement work like this. Okay, now this is what we are trying to achieve. Okay, now once we have completed our break statement, we can simply go back and do our cout. Okay, which is like we will print now that the number or sir, I just want to ask something like, will I get a certificate after completing this? Yes. Yes, if you stay back with us for the end of the session, which is tomorrow, definitely if you complete, you will be getting your certification for sure. We'll print the day and then the day number corresponds to, I'll say, we will just print in again the day name, okay? And then we will simply end it right over here. So that's how basically the execution of switch statement is supposed to work, right? Now if you look, this is our entire function to begin with. Void kahan se shuru hota hai? It starts with demonstrating switch statement. It starts with declaring an internal variable of this function. Remember, day name is like something like an internal variable. Is function demonstrate switch. Out of this function, the code doesn't know what day name is, but this function inside it knows what day name is, right? So it will use this value, and day is something that it takes from the external part of the code and checks all the cases. Okay, once all the cases are done, it found something, it will break out of this curly braces. If I minimize the code in the switch, you will realize that this is the entire structure of the current function, that it takes a value day. It has a string day name. Using switch, it fills in the value of day name, and then it runs a cout statement that the number of day, whatever you have chosen, corresponds to this. Okay, and it is fair enough. It is well done right over here, right? So now if we have to simply publish the use case, we will simply do integer main. Okay, now remember, integer main need not take anything as an input but simply return 0 on successful execution. So now we will simply use the function name. Let me copy it right from here. So demonstrate switch, and this time we will pass a value of 3. We will say demonstrate switch for a value of 7 and demonstrate switch for a value of 10. Okay, so we will be calling it 3 different times. Okay, and then we will simply say return. All right. So once we run this code, okay. So once we run it, you will see first time you're printing, and you can just quickly skim through the output what we have done. Okay. See how it responds to Wednesday, Sunday invalid choice, because those were our inputs. So good evening to all the people who are joining right now. So this is about the first demonstration that we just did, which is about how switch statements are supposed to work. Now let us expand our knowledge to different type of loops. Okay, how different loops work in C++. I'll mention how switch statement works in C++. So we will start off with the very first loop. Let us say for loop. Okay, so let us say for loop. Okay, now what is for loop used for? It is used to iterate through a specific number of times, right? Used to iterate a specific number of times. Okay, so what does this mean? Suppose that if I give you a number that, say, for a number is equals to 10, run this code 10 times. So for number equals to 20, run it 20 times. For number is equals to 3, run it 3 times, right? So that's the idea of for loop, how it is supposed to work. So again, let us simply create a void method. Again, void, because we will be just printing how for loop works, but let us create it as a function. So we will say demonstrate, for example, the for loop. Okay, so we'll demonstrate for loop. And what do we need in order to run a for loop? Okay, we need the limiter, like an integer value. Okay, so I told you yesterday, okay, you can use variables like x, y, you can call your variables like that. But if you look at the choosing of, or the choice of the variables that I'm using, look at line number 6, how the function name is demonstrate switch. So it's self-explanatory, right? What I'm doing, I'm demonstrating switch, so that's my function name, and I'm taking a value as an integer which is supposed to be a day. So the name of my integer itself is day. Similarly, for my for loop, I'm using an integer which will act like a limit, so the name of my variable is a limit. So this is more like a poetic touch to your coding, and trust me, people, this is high in demand. In fact, this is an polished developer's skill. Okay, to write readable code, a code which is self-explanatory. Two of the most important and overlooked things. Okay, people usually tend to focus more on, okay, as a fresher or as someone who is into this domain, as a beginner, I should focus on achieving the goals. In fact, you should focus on writing. Maybe you have lesser skills, write less, but write something which is appreciable. Okay, so any senior who can look into your code, they should be able to learn, oh sorry, they should be able to quickly grasp whatever you are writing from that point. Okay, now with this being said, let us demonstrate the for loop, how it is supposed to work. I'll quickly put in the cout statement. Let us say we will demonstrate for loop. Now, the reason I am writing these layouts or designing this code a little better is because maybe I'll just quickly share this entire code what I've written with you online right now. But for the people who stay in the chat, right, because I'll put it in the chat, it will not be available in the all-in-one document. It's a temporary gift that I'll give this source code to people in the chat. You copy it from there, okay? Maybe at some point when we're done with this file, okay? So let us demonstrate the for loop. So we will see out basically. Let us write a function. Understand for loop is used good at what point. So for loop is useful for counting things, right? For iterating n number of times. So let us write a function which will count till the limiter, like a countdown function. Huh? So countdown from, let us say, from the limit. So let us say we will start from limit. और कहाँ तक count करने वाले हैं हम? So let us say we will count to 1. Okay, since we are taking 1 as the input, right? That's correct. So let us have a slash n and close it. Now we will start off with a integer, say I is equals to limit. Okay, हमने whatever the limit that the user has provided us. Okay, let us use that limit and then write further into it, right? So we will simply, let us say or let us say we start our counting from 1. Okay, so maybe counting from 1 till 10. Both are simple ways. One way is you decrement the limit till 1. One is you increment the limit. Okay, both work the same way. So we will be counting from 1 till the limit. Okay, let us try to do that. So we will simply set the for loop right over here. Okay, so for. So now understand the syntax and the format of for loop. So rather than explaining you syntax separately, then wasting time to give you an example, we will directly learn by coding. Okay, so that's the approach we will keep today. So again, the idea is for loop. How does it work? So for loop, you mention the for keyword, you open a round bracket. Inside the round bracket, you give the starting point. So from where are you starting? You're starting from integer I is equals to 1. So we could have declared integer I separately, or we could have smarter ways, we simply put it in the loop itself. So see how we are using semicolons. Remember, semicolons are supposed to mark an end of a statement. So for loop comprises of one statement, which is a starting point. So integer I is equals to 1 is one part of the for loop. Until what is the condition? Okay, starting point and condition. So condition is that uh, until and unless I is less than equal to limit. Okay, so this is the condition, that suppose if we give you 5 as the limit. Suppose I start this iteration with 5. So we are starting from where? We are starting from 1. And how do we know it? Because we declared I is equals to 1. So in the first iteration, I is equals to 1. Condition check, is 1 less than or equal to 5? Yes. So it will run for 1, it will run for 2, 3. When it comes to 4, is 4 equal to 5? No. But is it less than it? Yes, it will run. But when it comes to 5, is 5 less than 5? No, 5 is not less than 5, but 5 is equal to 5. Hence, still the condition of less than equal to will work. But as soon as we hit 6, it will stop working. And if I just remove this equal to, it will stop working for 5 also, because 5 is not less than 5. So if you use less than equal to, it goes till exact value of the limit. Okay, so with that being said, for I is equals to 1 till less than equal to limit, we increment I. So after end of each loop, the third part is what? This step. How much step do you want? So we want it to be incremented by 1. This is also is equivalent to I is equals to I plus 1. Hai na? So the shortcut to write it, that we increment 1. Okay. So that's, sorry, we increment I. So that's one way to write the loop. And we simply do C out. We print the value of I, and then we give a space. Okay, and then we close it. Once we are done, we simply C out slash n, just for the better printing of on the terminal. So now let us demonstrate for loop once. Okay, we'll also put it in our integer main. That let us demonstrate for loop for 5, and let us demonstrate the for loop for 2 for an example. Okay, so when you try to run it, you will see, okay, demonstration for loop. Let us add a little bit more slash. Okay, now when you try to run it, so yes, there we go, the demonstration of for loop, counting from 1 till 5, counting the loop from 1 till 2. Okay, so that's interesting. Now let us quickly use it. Void demonstrate. Okay, perfect. So that's how you will be using the for loop in your C++ programming, right? So any doubts still here, you can ask me. Okay, can't we just give the value for limit, for example, 5? Would the program know the limit is 5? Can't we just give the value for limit, uh, give the value for limit, for example, 5? How would the program know the limit is 5? Okay, so how would the program know the limit is 5 is because we made it a variable as an input, right? This is a parameter, an argument which is to be passed. So whenever we run the code, we assume this is a dynamic value. We assume in real life that this value will come from real world interactions. So we are never sure if it will be 5 or not. We are sure that it will be an integer because our real world, maybe I'm giving a hypothetical situation, maybe our real world works with integers for whatever problem you're solving. But for this example, yes, it's an integer and it could be anything. So we do not never know that what is the value. Hence, we keep it like an parameter, a variable, okay, which could be anything. And which is why for loop is interesting because it dynamically adapts to your situations, right? For example, if the situation was 2, you see how the output changes with the same code. With the same code, no changes needed, we can run it n number of times, right? So I hope that's what you were asking for. If I got it wrong, you can try to explain again whatever you was asking. Okay. All right, fine. Now, similarly, rather than iterating for n number of times, we could have conditions where we need to keep on repeatedly repeating a block of code until and unless a specific condition is satisfied. So let us take a real world example for this. So I hope that many of us would have interacted with the IVR or call centers, right? Whenever we need support. So whenever we need support, we dial call centers. They have a IVR menu that, thank you for calling so and so. Please listen to our IVR options carefully. Press 1 for sales, press 2 for pre-sales, or press 2 for surveys, press 3 for other concerns, and so, right? 9 and something like that. So if you give a wrong choice, you cannot reach the next part of this iteration, right? So ideally, in order to in real life, ideally, what call centers would do is, if you repeatedly make 2 mistakes in a flow, they will simply cut your call. Okay. The idea is that whenever, suppose there's a program which is supposed to take a valid input from you. Okay, for example, suppose we are at a login page. Okay, we are registering for something, right? So they need our mobile number. So until and unless we give them the correct 10 digits of our mobile number, you cannot proceed to register. Now this is an infinite process. You keep on failing, keep on getting errors. Suppose if in mobile number you are typing hi, hello, how are you, it will tell this is not a valid phone number, please enter a valid phone number to proceed. And if you are missing certain values like 9 digit, 11 digit, still incorrect, that's where you will be stuck until unless you are on that process, right? All right. Okay. So primarily, Ritu, at this point, I'm just looking at the charts. Both are kind of the same thing at this point. Consider that it is pre-increment and post-increment. It's just pre and post. It doesn't necessarily impact. Okay. For now, understand that one part before starting the loop increments it once, and then other part does it in the post. So both are same thing. Your code will work with both. Okay. Now, sir, what is void function? So void is a type of a function that doesn't return anything. Look at our code right now, which is on screen. Why integer is not void? Because it is returning something, and it's not returning anything. It is returning integer. Hence, it is an integer function. If it was returning like a boolean or a string, it would have been boolean main or string main. Similarly, if a function doesn't return anything, look carefully at our function. There's no return statement. Then it is a void function. Okay. All right. So cool. I think both are many of the doubts are justified. No new doubts coming in. Fine. Now, with that, we were talking about a point where suppose you have to you're stuck in a state, and you that's the design of the program, that you have to be there until and unless a certain condition is met. So that is where you need something known as while loop. Okay, so Tushar is asking what kind of function is this demonstrate for loop. So it is pretty explanatory that it is a function to demonstrate how for loop works, right? I think it is a very simple uh, method or a function which you have written to explain you the usage of for loop, nothing more in it. So we'll proceed and we will understand the while loop. Okay, all right. So again, I'm just demonstrating how while loop works. So I need no return statement here. We'll simply demonstrate the while loop. Okay. Now, when I'm demonstrating while loop, it also needs an integer. It would need something like a limit or a condition to be met. Okay. So while we take a limit, okay, so we will demonstrate. We will simply see out demonstrating the while loop. Okay. So this being said, we will see out. Let us say again we count. Let's go down this time. Okay, count down from. We will say the limit. Okay, uh, to 1 for an example. Okay, and selection. Now integer I. We will set a temporary variable, internal variable. We will say limit. Okay. Yes. So while we will say while I is greater than or equal to 1. Now remember I told you that while loop is something which runs repetitively until and unless a condition is fulfilled. So what is the condition that we have given? See, remember this is the syntax of while loop also. To declare a while loop, we need to write this while keyword, and in the round brackets, we need to mention is greater than equal to 1. This is the condition. And remember, I kya hai? I is the limit which we have taken as an input from the user. If I is 10, so until and unless 10 is greater than or equal to 1, this condition is not broken. Okay, so while loops are in a way also dangerous. Dangerous in a way, they are not like harmful to a person in real life, but they are dangerous in a way that they can help. They can lead you to a problem known as infinite looping. Okay, your code might be stuck in a while loop if you have written it because of improper execution, because of some bug playing around, and that could be difficult to debug. Okay, because your program will not throw any error, and it will be stuck infinitely. The only way to get out of it would be to bring down your code. Okay, maybe like completely terminating the execution. So in production environments, that's not quite convenient to do. Imagine for highly popular applications like Flipkart, Netflix, Swiggy, Zomato, uh, many such applications, if they are stuck into a while loop, their services temporarily are down. Google, Instagram, Facebook, if they face such a problem, they're temporarily down. Many of the users are affected at the same second because of the traffic they work with, right? So bigger companies, they would not want the production to go down, and of course this will be a very silly mistake to do. But again, as a beginner, it is important to know that while loop, you have to make sure there's a proper closing structure to it. So currently the problem क्या है, वो प्रॉब्लम है क्या यहाँ पे? प्रॉब्लम ये है कि I is greater than equal to 1. जब तक ये है, ये कोड चलेगा, right? That's what the while loop is. So we have to make sure we will keep on printing the value of I, okay, and maybe add an empty space after it. We have to decrement it. So decrement करने का shortcut है ये, ठीक है? So again, now let us go through some charts. Okay, is this beginner class? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now inside void y integer data type is declared. Okay. Now remember ke there are two type of declarations, Tushar. First is ke what will your function return? Okay. Uska declaration is which is written with the function name. Remember function name ke saath if you are writing something like integer, void or a data type, it is explaining wo function apne aap mein, what is the data type of that function. That's what it explains. Now on line number 53, if you see inside this function, if you have integer I, this integer is not for a function, it is for an internal variable. I is an integer. Okay, so line number 55, whatever is that variable name, that variable is an integer. Okay, and and whatever is the task it will do. But for function writing word means this function is something which will not return anything. Or writing integer main means this function will return an integer at the end of it. As simple as that. There's no difficulty or a complex definition around it. It simply means that there could be many variables of different types. There could be a boolean string inside a void function also. Okay, but they are inside that function. They will do that as their variables. And this is a function. And if you write anything with the function like integer boolean, then it has to return that. Okay. So all right. So that's about it. And is there any reason that we need to decrement? Yes, I think I explained it very well that the problem of infinite looping. If we do not decrement in our while loop, hoga kya? Take an example. Suppose if we are running with a value say 5, limit हमने function start किया, line number 50 we start with the value of limit being 5. Okay, so when we hit 5 and we say integer I is equals to 5, we will do a manual operation. Okay, who is asking this question? Asid Hassan, right? Asid Hassan, we will do a manual operation. Okay, line number 53 पे we have reached here with the value 5. Limit क्या है 5, and तो I की value भी क्या हो गई? I is also 5. So while 5 is greater than 1, keep on printing the value of I. तो यहाँ पर 5 प्रिंट कर दिया. अभी के लिए I'll just remove this line. You're asking what is the significance? Is there a reason to write the decrement? Okay, so if I've removed it, इसने 5 print कर दिया, and now it will reach line number 57, which is closing the while loop. It will again go back to the to check the condition. Is 5 still greater than 1? Yes, it is. तो वापस print किया, वापस check किया, वापस print किया, check किया, print किया, check किया. So it is an infinite loop. 5 कभी भी 1 से कम होगा ही नहीं until and unless you design a mechanism कि हर iteration के बाद I की value कम होती जा रही है. Okay, so that's the reason that we need to decrement. अगर आप इसका उल्टा कर रहे होते, if you were printing from that point till 100, तो आप फिर increment करते जाते और लिखते कि while I was less than equal to 100, something like that, right? So ये दोनों examples में एक में हमने 1 to limit कर लिया, एक में हमने limit to 1 कर लिया है. You will realize how greater than equal to or less than equal to are utilized. Okay, so you can always rewind. This session will be recorded. You can access it anytime. Rewind कर लेना, and we will be explaining you for loop. वहाँ पर समझ लेना why it is less than equal to, and then realize why it is greater than equal to. Now with this being said, I think this demonstrate how the while loop is supposed to work, and we will also quickly take up do while. Okay, so there is one more special loop which is a little more flexible, although if you just use while loop it is sufficient. But do while करता क्या है कि do something while the condition is met. Okay, so let us quickly help you learn the do while also along with this. So again, we will quickly write a void method, and we will demonstrate to you the do while ka working. Yes, do until something like that, right? So do while loop we will explain. We will take an integer by the name of limit. Okay, so what happens here is we will see out. Okay, what we will see out is slash n demonstrating the do while loop. Okay, slash n. Now we will say let us say we will again do a counting example ही कर लेते हैं. So let us say we will be counting again. So counting up to let us say limit that. All right, and take it. I'll close this. Now we will simply declare say integer I is equals to 1. Okay, and we will write the structure के do करना क्या है कि so इसमें what is the benefit of do while. I'll just quickly explain you in the while loop. Let us go to the while loop first. Okay, if you check while loop, it first checks with the condition. If the condition is met, only then it enters to what is to be done. For an example, if I pass you a value -10 to begin with, ये फंक्शन को एट द टाइम ऑफ कॉलिंग आई पास अ वैल्यू ऑफ -10, तो एट द वेरी वेरी फर्स्ट इटरेशन, जब फर्स्ट टाइम ये कोड यहाँ पहुंचा है, तभी इट इज नॉट ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 1, सो इट विल नॉट एट ऑल प्रिंट एनीथिंग, राइट? बट इफ आई पास समथिंग लाइक दिस, मान लो लिमिट आई एम पासिंग एज -10, so see the code, see with your own eyes what is happening. See out statement is there on 61, see out statement on 62, integer I declared. Without checking the condition, it will do something. So it will do what? It will simply see out something. Okay, it will see out the value of I. Okay, and then maybe a space, and then it will go and check while I is less than equal to the limit. Now condition check ho raha hai. And while the condition is getting checked, okay, I'll again add /n to end this. Okay, so what is happening here? Okay, it will do it once. Okay, it will print output at least once, even if the condition is wrong. Yes, I think Ritu, that's perfect the way you have understood it. So do while loop it. Yes, sorry, that's correct. So that's a subtle difference which will be there in the while and do while loop. Nothing else around it, right? So, well, that's primarily what I wanted to explain you about the while and do while things, right? So this is all about the loops: for loop, while loop, do while loop. Okay, so these loops are indeed really helpful when you write different set of codes, right? So again, now I need not necessarily explain you functions. Functions, I'll just repeat whatever these things you have written. Let me minimize this code. Okay, let me minimize everything. Okay. So if you see, we have function 1, function 2, function 3, function 4, while, do while. These are all mini blocks of code. So suppose if there are certain set of instructions, pehle to let us recap that program is certain set of instructions. And we write multiple set of instructions. Inside this, if there is a repeated set of instructions which can be followed, ठीक है, मान लेते हैं किचन एक प्रोग्राम है, तो किचन के अंदर there are different recipes that can be made, and these recipes could be broken down into a repetitive task, है ना? If you have to make tea, it is a simple process, could be little here and there depending upon your code, but the first task is take pan, take water based on the our parameters जो आपको मिले हैं. Parameter could be how many cups, 2, 4, 8, 3, 1. Depending upon that, your internal variables will be adjusted, है ना? Like the number of sugar spoons needed could be taken from the arguments and things like that. So process will be same. You have to take up a pan, boil water, add tea leaves, maybe what type of tea it is. Is it masala tea, ginger tea, things like that, right? Cardamom or whatever you using. Apart from that, then there could be the serve thing, right? These are certain set of instructions which will never change. In fact, they won't change at least until unless you are reinventing the wheel for a different recipe. So this tea will be made always like this. So asset type के tasks which are well defined and they could be reused multiple times. Today you are making tea at my home, today you are making tea at your home or at a different place. The process of making tea will remain same, right? So this is a reusable bundle. So something like this is where functions are useful. So if I have to demonstrate switch statement, I have written this logic. You just copy paste this logic in any programming file, it will be able to demonstrate switch, right? if it is a C++ file to begin with. So similarly, functions are reusable set of instructions which make your life easy. So for example, every time I have to run basic calculator program, like I have to add, multiply, subtract, divide, I need not each time write these instructions. I'll create function add, function subtract, function like that, right? And since okay, how many of you can put it in the chat? Let us see. If I have to add two values, okay, what should be the ideal data type of my function? Let us see how many of you can write it. I want to see what you write and why do you write. Explain that. The question is, I have to design a calculator, and I'm giving a very simple problem. Add karna hai. I have to create a function to add two values. So obviously it should return me the addition. There is a return statement here, right? It is returning the addition. Give me a good data type that I should use here. Okay. All right. So yes, we have Ritu, Mohit putting as integers, Praneet putting it as double. I'll agree with all of you. Suppose I never specified in depth whether you have to you simply add integers or add floating points also. So for precision, it could be double. For a simple program, it could be integer. So all the people coming in as integer and the double are correct. Okay. So yes, even float is interesting. Yes, so that's very well, right? And I want to find that person. Uh, Yes, Tushar. I hope, Tushar, I was waiting for you to comment if you understood uh, what should be the data type for this edition, right? Because I like to care for each and every person trying to grasp something from me, right? So I'm pretty sure people like Ritu, Praneet, Venom is live, Yashish, and I keep on reading chats. You people have got it, but I let's not leave anyone aside. So Tushar, if you have any issue, come back to me, put it in the chat. Okay. कुछ नहीं समझ रहा है, we will maybe we can retake it up. You can take the video again, rewind it and watch it. Okay. Next, so let us say we have successfully demonstrated the use case of the different functions. Okay. So yes, as mentioned, I should open up code share. Okay. So I'll share some code with you. Now, give me a minute, students. I'll quickly create a shareable file with you. Okay, share code now. I'll take this task. Copy, paste, share. Copy, close. Let me add it here and code share. Let me demonstrate now certain examples with the operators. So again, I'll share one more code. Share, copy, close, and paste. All right. So soon in the chat, I promised you at the session start, I'll give you these codes, okay, so that you can read them, learn from them. This should be shared as a link. Remember, students, this is a code share link. It expires in I think 12 or 16 or 24 hours. So take that link, copy it somewhere in your documents, and store it. Okay. This is like a added perk for people who stayed live with us. Okay. So this is a gift that you can wrap up. You can quickly revise whatever we have learned here. Okay, cool. Now let us go back and without wasting much time, let us try to learn a little bit about the assignment operators. Okay, so this code is shared with you. Okay, there are two different files I have shared. For now, open them in the browser or copy this code link, and then let us get back to learning a little bit. Okay, okay, you can complete this activity quickly. I'll just verify whatever is shared is correct. Yes, I'm able to take it. Right click, Control A. copy, control A, paste. Okay, yes, I am able to uh, copy paste things. All right, so this should work. Let me go back to chats. Okay, all good. Right. So by now, it's practically been less than 3 hours that we started our journey into coding, right? And we learned how to install C++. We learned about IDEs. They are nothing but different softwares where programmers can program, right? Um, and then we started off with the basics of syntax. We learned what are header files. We learned what is namespace as standard, okay? And we learned functions. We learned about the main function, okay? It is the part which actually runs that code, okay? Inside that code there could be multiple other functions, but they are controlled and managed by the main is the root of that file. Then we learned about different loops, and now we are talking about different operators, okay? Ideally I could have borrowed you about operators for next 1.5 hour, okay? Trust me, I have a skill to even explain the operators for 2-3 hours, but since I find this is very easy and it just needs one touch up, so we will just walk through certain codes, okay? And it is already shared with you, this part of the code. So it is somewhere around, let us say that we have to now you know how to read this code and see the beauty that since we are not using namespace std, we know why std has to be written in front of every reserved keyword, okay? But this is a more flexible way. So if someone asks me that whether should we use namespace standard or not, it depends upon the flexibility in the code. See, if you are if you have enough faith that you will not do any mistakes to use any reserved keyword name as a variable name or mix up with that, uh, go with it. But if you're a beginner and you want to make sure that whatever reserved keywords you are putting in, and if you want your code to be more accurate, then you can go without the namespace also, right? It's a depends basically. Both methods are here and there, and it's fine. So the first is to demonstrate the assignment operators. There are different type of things that you can do when we talk about different operators. So firstly, देखो, I'll create two variables a and b with the value 10 and 5. Okay, I'll just simply print the value of a क्या है यहाँ पे. We will go through this code as if we are executing it. So a key value, let us memorize in our heads, right? Currently a is 10, b is 5. Okay, so we will okay, so end l means nothing but it's like writing this slash n. Okay, that's what an end line keyword is doing here. Since it is a standard reserved keyword, we have to mention std colon colon. Okay, we are ending the line. And other workaround is what I did, slash n laga do. Now, the very first is a simple assignment. We will create yet another variable which was not created till this point, which is c. और c के अंदर हमने a की value store कर दी. That's what we are doing here, right? All right. Okay. Again, once we are done here, we will say cout c is equals to a key value, and I think we should be able to print c is 10. Now, can you please explain the advanced for loops also? So I think you're talking about nested for loops. Nah? So for nested for loops, you need not worry. It is simply when you have to iterate 2 times. Maybe I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it to you. Ritu is asking that. For example, suppose I have to iterate through students. Okay, for an example, I have 10 students with me. So I'll write a for loop for a student in student list. Suppose student list is my variable name, okay, and I have to iterate one by one for each student. For student in student list, okay. Uh, Now for each student, I have to again iterate their all the marks. Their marks in physics, chemistry, biology, right? So this time I'll put another for loop inside a for loop. So for student in student list, for marks of that student, okay, uh, C out marks at physics, C out marks at chemistry, something like that. So that's where that would be an explanation of how uh, nested for loops can be used, right? Okay, cool. Now with that being said, let us proceed back. So assignment operators क्या कर रहे हैं? So first of all, we are assigning the value of A to C, and if you print it, you will realize, okay, now C is 10. Okay, B क्या था? B5 था. Now again, we can also add and assign. So what is add and assign? So add and assign is that A को हम assign तो कर रहे हैं B, ठीक है? So for many people who had doubt के plus plus minus plus, here is where operators we are talking about that. So plus equal to what is it does is के it is equivalent to A के साथ B plus कर देना. A is equals to A plus B, right? So this is where the add and assign comes. Subtract and assign is equivalent to like this, minus equal to B. So these are shortcuts. If you look at line number 20, A minus B is equivalent to A is equals to A minus B. Similarly, there is multiply and assign. So if I'm using anything, basically if I'm using anything, these keywords are easy to remember. Equal to साथ plus it means A plus B, minus A minus B. Multiply and divide similarly. If you have to do modulus, it is similarly modulus. Okay. Now, since you have this code, you can play around with it. Comparison operators, if you have to check if x equals to 5, so we have to use double equal to. Basically, equal to के साथ पहला क्या है? Equal to. So we are doing equal to. So equal to के साथ what is there? Exclamation mark. It means not equal to. So if x is 10 and y is 5, so not equal to will return true. Okay. Whereas greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to are some interesting comparative operators. Similarly, there could be logical operators. Logical operators are easy if you understand the theory of logic gates or the theory of logic to begin with, and or XOR or things like that, right? Everything can be built with the help of and or. So logical and जो है, it is written with the ampersand. Okay. So if true and true, इसका output क्या आना चाहिए? It should be true. And I think any other combination should be false. So this is what you will be able to witness with the logical and logical not. The exclamation के साथ, if you write the variable, it is logical not. So if I run this, you will be able to see. Let me verify. Yes, there are no errors in the code. You are able to run the assignment operators and see how these are supposed to work. You can take a screenshot of it. You have the code with you. So whenever you have to quickly verify, okay, what is this about, this operator, you have our notebook with you, which demonstrates everything to you. Right. So this was all about how do we do it, right? Okay. So yes. Okay. No additional doubts, right? I have hope things are clear till this point. All right. Cool. Comparison operators, you want to revisit that, right? Sure. Okay. So the comparison operators, the name suggests, we will be comparing different things, and the logic remains very simple. If we are talking about something which is greater than, less than, or equal to, तीन type के comparison हो सकते हैं. One is equal to a comparison. Okay. Okay. So you want to see how it prints to true and false, the comparison operators, right? So here it is, right? So if you see x is equals to 10 and y is equals to 5. So is 10 is equals to y? No. So it returns 0. Okay. And is x not equal to y? It's not equal to y. So it returns 1. That's how it compares the value. Simple, right? That's how it does it. So I hope it clears your doubt about how comparison operators work. Either it is equal to, not equal to, less than or greater than, or combination of greater than equal to, or less than equal to. Fine. Now that we have worked till here, okay, we can think about learning a little bit about strings, how to play around with that, right? Yes. All right. Yeah, that's correct. So that's how we need to write the comparative operators. Yes. All right. So okay, we have to write it like this in the round brackets. That's correct. Right. So now let us play around a little bit with the strings. Okay. So first of all, I'll say hashtag include IOStream. I'll say hashtag include. So now you're playing with string. Good time to add strings into the picture. Okay. I'll simply say integer main. I'll play around here. I'll say a standard variable which is cout. It will mean welcome to the world of strings. Okay, in C++. Now again, I'll share this code with you. In the next 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I'll share this code with you. Let us introduce ourselves to strings. Okay. So first thing is let me just simply copy this standard here. Copy, paste. So let us start off with the introduction. Okay. So we will see out introduction to strings. Strings are a data type, right? We know that by now. And maybe if you want to create a string, okay, so we will not use cout, we will use string, which is a reserved keyword. Okay, let us say the variable name comes here. I'm writing the syntax first for you, and then the value, okay, and semicolon. So let us keep the value as hello, and let keep the variable name, which is again meaningful, as greeting. Okay, now once you have done that, let us create one more string variable again by the name of name. Okay, so let us say name is equals to whose name should we pick? Let us pick Ritu. Okay, so let name be Ritu, and then let us say we will see out the example. A simple string which is like the uh, greeting. This is how you can print the greeting, okay, with a slash n to end with. Okay, and similarly, we will say another simple string is name. Okay, so this is how we use strings. So we simply use string, the library, followed by the variable name, followed by the name. So gifting, right? So gifting, the arithmetic operators were covered in the very start of that session. Plus, minus, divide, subtract. We did that. Let me just cross check if I shared it with you. Yeah, I think the assignment operator was the very first part of that. All right. So now once we are done with it, just a minute. All right. Next thing is, let us see how we can play around with strings in a different way. Say let us say we have to concatenate two strings. Okay, how can that be done? So let us say string concatenation. So again, as a developer, concatenating strings is an important thing to do, and you will use it a lot. Suppose that you have a default greeting message, okay, that even in many call center industries, in established industries with protocol, how do you pick up the call? What do you say? Hello, welcome to welcome to LetsUpgrade or something like that, right? So there's a pattern to be followed. So only things that change are maybe the customer's name. So suppose if I'm saying it's Giftin, right? Yes. So hello Giftin, how are you? So apart from Giftin, everything else is structured. So maybe you will have to use concatenation over here. Maybe you will have to say hello plus the customer name plus how are you. So this complete thing will merge as a single string, right? So this is a very important thing, and you will see it's important a lot in regular day-to-day basis whenever you're coding or working with strings. Indeed, right? So suppose let us print out we are working with string concatenation. Okay, slash n. Let us say we will create a variable by the name of string, which is like message, again a variable. Now remember, the message is what I want to say, hello, hello, followed by I want a comma first. Okay, I want a comma, then a space. That's what I will add. Then I want the name. So the name is Ritu in our case. We are following it. Maybe I want to make it exciting with an exclamation. So I will say plus and exclamation to it with a slash n. Slash n will not be printed, of course. It will break the line by just hitting an enter, basically. Okay, so this is how the greeting is supposed to work. Whereas, it could be really interesting. We could merge, theoretically, we could merge infinite number of strings. For an example, learning strings is fun. So we can do part one plus part two. So learning strings, okay? And what if we again do combined, maybe combined. So understand what is in the combined. By line number 20, what has happened here? We created three variables. What is the first variable? First variable is learning. Second variable, strings. Third variable is fun. So line number 20 पे क्या है? Combined stores learning string. And now line number 21, if I write combined plus or combined is incremented with, if I write like something like this, है is incremented with part 3, which means learning strings is fun ho gaya now, the complete statement. And now when I, so let me just, see out over here. See out some concatenation is equals to, I'll say combined followed by slash n, and then I'll say some more concatenation, right? Some more concatenation, and then I'll print here. So you will see, pehla print statement is giving you learning strings. Next print statement is giving you learning strings is fun, right? So that's how we can play around with it. In fact, sometimes there is again one interesting thing that you can know is that we can typecast certain variables. For an example, if I give you my phone number, okay, so that phone number is integer basically, है ना? For computer it's not a number. Or I give you my roll number, say roll number is 37, it is an integer. So when we have to convert something into integer, for example, if I have a variable integer age is equals to say 29, okay, and I have to convert it into a string, say a standard output, I'll create a standard variable string, okay. If I have to create a string and string की value क्या है? So say what do we name it? Let us say age statement अगर ये मेरा variable है, तो इसके अंदर we are writing my age is equal to, है ना? And we now want to add the integer, so we cannot simply write here add. Remember the addition will work on same type of data types, like आप 10 plus 10 20 कर सकते हो, but string plus 29 is fatal, it's an error. So here is where you will use again, you will change it data type to string, which by writing टू स्ट्रिंग मेथड. सो टू स्ट्रिंग मेथड के अंदर अगर आप रैप कर दोगे वैल्यू को, सो वट एवर इनसाइड इट कुड बी अ फ्लोट, डबल और एन इंटीजर, इट विल बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू स्ट्रिंग एज इफ के 29 के आसपास डबल कोट्स लग गए हों, एंड देन दिस एडिशन इज पॉसिबल. ओके, in fact what happens when you create a string, right? So yesterday we realized, right, that strings are nothing but multiple characters together. So suppose if we have a word like this, na? So suppose if we have a standard string like say word, okay, and someone is asking, Arjun asking, why not using namespace standard? Only to explain ke code bina namespace ke bhi chal sakta hai, and what is the significance of namespace. वरना अगर मैं सब जगह namespace use कर लूंगा, then you will never be able to realize कि namespace होता क्या है. Okay, so namespace will help your code automatically detect reserved keywords. Okay, and that's the only advantage that you will get again. And I explained how without using it you can get more robust. Okay, you are explaining code manually what is a reserved keyword and what is not, rather than letting it decide. Okay, now what will happen is that we have string word. Let us say we have a word like computer. So this computer is compiled of what? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, or seven, eight characters, right? So here is where remember strings is nothing but a set of characters. So if I have to print the first word, है ना, I'll forget the syntax for now. Quickly, we have to write it. See out yacht लगेगा इसके आगे. You write that see out. But if I have to print the first character, I will say word at 0. It will print the capital C. But I have to print the say last character. ठीक है ना? So there is again a reserved keyword known as .length. So word dot length क्या करेगा? It will give me the length of the this कितने कैरेक्टर्स अंदर काउंट कर लेगा. इसमें स्पेसेस आ गए, स्पेशल कैरेक्टर्स लाइक डॉट एक्सक्लेमेशन ये सब आ गया, द कैरेक्टर्स लाइक एबीसीडी एवरीथिंग इज इंक्लूडेड. टोटल में कितने कैरेक्टर्स हैं, इट विल गिव मी दैट, एंड इफ आई माइनस वन फ्रॉम इट आई विल गेट द लास्ट का काउंट, है ना. So strings for beginners are a little puzzling. Why does the last character has index at -1? It is pretty simple because we started counting from 0. If I start counting from 1, then I'll end up के कंप्यूटर का R 8th नंबर पे है. बट if I'm starting from 0, तो कंप्यूटर का R 7th नंबर पे हो गया. It will consider an array of characters. Yes, okay. So that's how, if I have to print the word at last value, I'll have to say word at the last letter. Okay, so this is what it will give me. Again, I'll quickly create a code share for you. Well, not just this, I'll give you much more. Okay, let me give you more methods of string. I'll also quickly walk you through from them. All right, share, copy. I'll let the moderator know that they have to share something more. Okay. Attendance link is always available throughout the session. It is in the all-in-one documents, I think, right? So you can find it from there. Okay. Yes. So this is again, students, I've shared one more code with you. Now let us quickly walk through it before we run out of time. Okay. We will quickly go and check whatever it is there. Okay. So for a quick recap, how to create strings. Up string likho, which is the library name, variable name, and followed by the value. Then concatenation is important thing. I explained you how you can play around with it. Then how you can work around with strings and numbers. For example, age is an integer, so you can cast it to a string and you can get it printed. So you will get my age is 20 with the string value. Or maybe if you have to print the value of pi, you can string cast even a double to the value of pi as a string. Hai? Next, I also explain you indexing, how indexing can work. So if I have to print the first character, 0 index is where the first character is. Each variable which holds strings, it is a set of characters, and each character is having an index value. Hai? It's like having when you create a variable, you create a virtual space, है ना, with different room numbers, room number 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. And inside these room numbers is the value of your variable. Okay, in the RAM, in the virtual world of RAM, this is how you store value. So basically, at the 0th index is the value of C, first index पे O, second पे M. So this is how computer is stored inside that word. So if you have to see के word के first index पे क्या है, what is there in the first index? You print the index value. Word at 0 will give you the value of the 0th index. And similarly, you want somewhere in between. You want from first index till 10th index की value. You have to cut string like that. You have to cut a string from say 10th to 100th index. So that's what you will pass and you will be able to get it. Okay. Maybe you can use a for loop. For I is equals to 10 till I is less than equal to 100. I is incremented, and you create a temporary variable of an empty string, and you keep on appending all the characters. So you will get a slice of starting from character 10 till 100. Hai? So that's how you can cut strings in between, play around with strings, and do a lot of things in the world of string, right? You can iterate through it. See, for loop lagado, since now we have a logic how for loop works. Now we have the logic that strings are set of characters. So for I is equals to 0 till the length, you increment I and keep printing the characters. Then you can chunk them. I in fact just now explained you how to uh, chunk strings, है ना? So we can in fact like go through here and see more into the strategies of chunking and how special characters are used, like slash n. So if we use double slashes before any special character, like slash t stands for tab, slash n stands for n, अगर इनके आगे अगर if we use double quotes तो वो special का special खत्म हो जाता है. It's no more special. So for example, if I print line number 66, it will print without slash n. But if I print line number 67, it will print with this double quotes, right? So something like that. So the line contains the new line characters and something like that. Okay. So this is how you will realize how special characters are manipulated. And again, comparative operators, they also work along with strings. Okay, क्या string one string three के equal to है? No, apple is not. Oh, sorry, apple is equals to apple. So yes, this is equal to, and similarly, you will be able to work around with it, right? So so that's interesting. And how to find characters in string. So even without share this code, yes, I've shared this code. In fact, just above your question, you see whatever is being shared by the Let's Upgrade moderator. This is that code. Okay, so quickly go and check the BD40E9 wala URL. That's what I think it should be. Let me double verify that for you. If I open it, yes, I have shared this code with that variable. All right. So this was really interesting. I tried to push many things to be covered in a short session. Yesterday we had a start. Today we had a jump start, and we have covered so many things in less than practically 3 hours. Right. So I think if there are any doubts still here, you can ask me. And since the time did not permit us to solve a problem statement, it doesn't mean that we are not solving it. Tomorrow we will be solving really challenging and interesting problem statements. Okay, we will not simply do a regular session where we are building a calculator. We are done with it. We will be doing something more interesting problems. Okay, so I really hope that you people stay connected tomorrow. In fact, let your friends know that what they will be missing, because day 3 is all about solving more problems. Day 2, you have familiarized, you have codes with you now, and keep this code with you, learn from it, play around with it. In fact, I encourage you to write these codes on your own, try to practice them. Okay, uh, and I do not see any doubts further coming in, which means that the explanation was widely accepted. Okay, let us see if there are any more doubts. No, good. Okay. So I hope you all are excited for tomorrow, because tomorrow is the finale of our 3 days marathon, and I'm really interested to teach you people more, interact with you more. So I hope you enjoyed this session thoroughly at least. Cool. So for now, I'll take your leave. Thank you. Tata. Bye bye. Good night to all of you.